Joining me right now is former Republican presidential candidate and neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carson, as well as former presidential candidate and former governor of Texas, Governor Rick Perry. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
So, Dr. Carson, let me kick it off with you. Characterize what we've been hearing so far from the convention, and what are you looking for from tonight's speeches?
Well, so far what I've seen is a disconnect with reality. It's kind of funny as they sit there and blame the Republicans for everything that they are doing and claiming to be the agents of change when in fact they want to continue down the same pathway that so many Americans are dissatisfied with. You know, tax and spend, not paying attention to our educational infrastructure, you know, basically creating all these divisions and saying that the Republicans are the ones creating the divisions. It's the Democrats who have declared the war on women, who have, you know, created all the tension between people of different income levels, different racial groups. I just hope that the people themselves are smart enough to analyze this without being fed by pundits and news media.
Governor Perry, what about you? I mean, much has been talked about the fact that we haven't heard the word ISIS very much, even as we have another attack, the tragic takedown of the priests in France, which is just horrific, and we haven't heard a lot about national security. Do you think that will be a highlight tonight?
Well, they don't want to talk about that. When you think about, if you say the words ISIS, then you start thinking about words like Benghazi, you think about terrorism, and this administration and this Secretary of State do not want to talk about this. You know, last night I was sitting there watching former President Bill Clinton, and I could not, as he was talking about this relationship with his wife, Hillary Clinton, and you can't divorce yourself from the scoundrel that this fella is and was, and this, you want to talk about disconnects. That is as big a disconnect as there is. So the Clintons have a problem with the truth. This individual wants to be the next president of the United States. I think it's somewhere up close to 70% of the people out there don't trust her. So this issue of trust is going to be a huge, huge issue in this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, can they do anything to move the needle on the trust issue, Dr. Carson? I mean, obviously this is something that has followed Hillary Clinton for a long time. President Bill Clinton last night tried to show us a different side of Hillary. Did it work?
Sure. Yes, they could definitely do something to move it, like tell the truth. Of course, that seems to be a stretch. I mean, you look at things like the economy, and they're telling people, wow, the unemployment rate is down at 4.7%. They're not talking about the labor force participation rate, which is a much better indicator. And, you know, they're denying what's going on in terms of our safety and security with ISIS and radical Islamic terrorists. And the unfortunate thing is that there are people out there who actually buy this stuff. But when you talk to them, they just don't have a clue about what's going on in the world. And it's very sad. And our founders predicted that we would be in this predicament if the population became uninformed. And that's what a lot of the population is now. Our job is to try to inform them, to talk to them at a level that's understandable so that they can recognize what's going on and recognize what we're doing to the future for their children and their grandchildren.